Ceromundo, what's up, my brother?
What up, brother? Peace
Good,
and
my man.
blessings
Thank
to you.
you
How
so
you feeling,
much.
brother?
Peace and blessings to you too. It's good to see you. It's been a minute.
Thank you, my
Yeah.
brother. Thank you. Likewise,
So
likewise, yo. Gracias por la invitación. Thank you for reaching out and stuff, and continue keeping the movement, the grind,
thank you,
all
brother.
all
Relentless
pushing
grind.
forward. Yes, man.
So
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, it is.
for folks who may not be familiar with your music, who are going to be introduced to Ceromundo through this, and for people who find it like on YouTube, I always like to give a little bit of background. So, Ceromundo is
All
a
right.
Latin hip-hop pioneer from the DC area. You've been performing now for decades. You've released, a discography of music steadily, consistently over the years. You've performed up and down the East Coast, abroad. One of the first people to do podcasting, especially from a Latin voice. Additionally, you've been a host, judge for rap battles, and I'm sure I'm not covering everything. You've got the music videos, the list goes on and on.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit of context so that people can understand a bit about, all of your accomplishments. But I wanted to jump into your musical journey. If we take it back, when did Settle start getting involved in music?
I want to say at 2-3 years old, I was on vacation with the family out in the Caribbean, and I saw a band performing, and I was like, I want to go there and be on stage. Got on stage with with a calypso band and just started jamming out to them and whatnot. And from there just wanting to learn every music instrument, play trumpet, violin, chorus. Hip hop got introduced through breakdancing, through talent shows. Always wanted to be a breaker. I could only do the worm, and I still like, pop and locking, you know what I mean? And that's the early stages. And then I wasn't introduced to being a rapper or rapping, sort of say, till I lived in Colombia. And so prior to that, I wanted to be more of a DJ. I was always wanted to be a DJ. Just from grabbing mixers at Radio Shack and just trying to connect whatever equipment and doing, skipping parties. We put the music there and stuff like that, underground parties and whatnot. And that, so essentially it was DJing stuff, Of course, there was always graffiti, right? So it's always the elements of hip hop always been there.
So when you went to Colombia, were you a DJ already?
As far as I wasn't a full DJ stuff. It was like something I wanted to do, but I didn't really have the equipment, sort of say. You know what I'm saying? It was just something I was like playing around with, and at the time it was vinyl, CDs were being introduced. So, everybody was collecting CDs, and it was like vinyl. So you're like going back and forth, and then so much good music was coming out. It was like, you want to hear it on your Walkman or whatever. So it was like, different technology of how you listen to music at that time. You know what I mean? But I got introduced to wanting to rap. My bad. Not even in Colombia, yo. I got introduced to wanting to rap in Miami, because in Miami I got family out there, and my cousin, he was cool with this Miami rap group called First Platoon, and they're one of the first Miami groups to have like a rap video on like BET and stuff, on Rap City and stuff. So I got to hang out with them, smoked up or whatever, saw them rap and like, oh shit, I want to do that and stuff. You know what I mean? So when I went to Colombia, then I was like, oh man, if I could only do what these cats did and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I saw what they were able to do and stuff. So I'm in Colombia, and so I started to, some dude told me like, yo, why don't you rap and stuff like that? Go to the block parties or whatever. And so I don't know how to rap. He's like, just rap cualquier canción en inglés and stuff, and people listen to it and stuff. So I knew at that time I was listening to Method Man, so I rapped Method Man's lyrics and stuff to bring the pain, and the
Where,
folks loved
where
it.
in
I loved the
Colombia was
feeling and
this? What part
whatnot,
of Colombia?
and
Okay, in Cali.
in Cali, Colombia. This was like around 96, 97, and stuff like that. This was, at the time, Cali was like one of the most dangerous cities in the
Yeah.
world and stuff like that. You know what I mean? You know, the Cali cartel was kind of still in power and whatnot, and it was wild and stuff. So if you ever seen Narcos, like episode 3, when they were jamming to Mob Deep and stuff like that, I can vouch they were listening to rap music. It probably wasn't Mob Deep. It was probably Smooth the Hustler, J. Root, because I was like one of the first dudes that introduced like rap to radio stations over there and stuff like that. La Mega Funky. So I listened to radio station. I call in the radio. It's like, yo, like I hear y'all playing rap. I went in like as an intern and whatnot, brought my CDs, like, yo, put this music on. So I was like, so I helped, produce one of the first rap
Well,
shows
so were
in the
you
city
like, did
of
you like
Cali.
finish high school there, or were you living there?
Yeah, that's correct. I went
What
to go
years?
to high
Like
school
what
over there.
grades?
You know, yeah, this was shoot, I failed 10th grade, so I did 10th grade over there, and over
Got
there
it. So
you
you did
graduate
like
by
your
the
last
summer.
2 years of high
So in a
school
way, I
in
kind
Cali.
of like, yeah, yeah, but I didn't do your
Yeah.
traditional kind of years and stuff. You know what I mean? Like I graduated at 11th grade because over there they
That
graduate
was a
at 11th
hookup.
grade, but in reality,
That's,
it's
I didn't
complex.
know
Yeah,
that. That's such a cool, yeah, I didn't realize that.
yeah,
So you brought, like, because back then, you couldn't get music off the internet like you can today. The person had to have the CDs. So you had the music, you took that music to
yeah,
Colombia.
yep, yep, cassettes and stuff like that, CDs, cassettes, and networked over there with all the cats that was into rap and hip hop and stuff. Because
Hmm.
it's a salsa music dominated city. It's considered the salsa capital of the world. So imagine I'm out here listening to rap, hip hop, and we pushing rap and hip hop over there. Formed the group called the Buddha Bandits, and yo, we took this. We became like top 5 acts in the city, like when it
Wow.
comes to rap
So,
hip hop over
so
there.
the Buddha Bandits was
Yeah,
your first group.
yeah, yeah,
Got it.
that's
Got
correct.
it.
Yep, yeah, yeah. We were like breakers, dancers. We toured all over, like Cali and stuff. Did Cali festivals, the first rap hip hop festival in Cali. Um, we opened up for like Big Boy. Big Boy at the time I had the song Mi Ojo Lloran Por Ti. Control Machete came. Like that was like at least 10, 15,000 people there and stuff. We opened up for them. Um, yeah, we hit up many cities, clubs, and it was a thing.
So
We actually got paid
dope.
for rapping over there and
So,
stuff.
so after
Yeah,
Buddha
yeah,
Bandits, I remember you had an early group called Traficantes, right? So was that after Buddha
yeah,
Bandits?
yeah, yeah. That's correct. So Traficante started. So I came back to the States, um, and through my connections in Colombia, I connected with a cat in Chicago, and so I would fly to Chicago, like on a monthly basis, and we
Got
started a
it.
group called Traficantes, and so we incorporated
Mhm.
a lot of like Colombian sound, salsa mixed with hip hop and with the
Got
old
it. Got it. Who
Spanish
else was
rap
in that
style.
group with you?
Uh, it's cat named Trágico. He goes today by the
Got it.
name of
Okay, cool.
J Capo.
Cool. And were you settled at
Yeah.
that time?
En esos tiempos in those times I was known as a
Carnicero.
carnicero. So
Yeah, the
yeah,
butcher.
carnicero, which is like the butcher. And so I got that name because in Cali, I went up on stage and performed with a machete. So everybody like in Cali rap hip hop,
Are you
they've
serious?
heard of
Like
me
you'd
and stuff
have the
like that.
mic and you'd have a
And I
machete.
look back
Woo!
in a machete, yo. Yeah, and I look
I don't think
back
you
and
could
it's
do that
probably
nowadays.
it was dumb, ignorant, and dangerous. You know? I was inspired by like Onyx because I heard like Onyx they would perform on stage with guns and stuff like that. So I was like, man, let's go with guns and shoot. We come go on stage with guns. So I was like, man, let
That's
me
so
bring out a
wild.
machete and stuff, you know.
As part of the
Yeah, yeah.
Traficantes, did you guys ever release an album?
Yeah, yeah, we did it. We did it independently. We pressed up like our own CDs and stuff, um, and cassettes as well. And you know, we did a nice run. We moved them units through Miami, Boston, DC area. You know, Miami,
Mm,
Chicago. We performed at the Colombian Festival in Chicago. Um, you know, wrapped, you know, into a lot of like little
that's
rap
cool.
ciphers in Chicago and stuff, and got to record with Los Nandes. Los Nandes, they're a big group from Colombia or from
Mhm.
Chicago, but in Colombia and stuff like that. So I was on their first album where they had I think I had like two, three
Mm,
songs on their first album and stuff like that. And albums like considered like a
that's
classic
spectacular.
in its
Yeah,
own right and
everybody's
stuff
heard of
like
Los
that.
Nandes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm on their first album, Calles de Sangre. Got like two songs, three songs on there. I forgot and stuff. But yeah, and then with Traficantes, we did like promo tours, went to Puerto Rico, Texas. Yeah, just promoting, performing and stuff. We did a music video. Music video was done by Nietzsche Studio. He's the same dude that recorded the
Oh
Big Pun
wow.
documentaries at that time. So we linked up with him and stuff. So he did our video. And then yeah, and then our band just we
Yeah,
dissolved it due to
and
like
so then
creative
you that's
differences.
when you went solo, and then that's when Settle
Yeah,
starts.
exactly. I dropped the carne,
Put
dropped
the
the
machete
tools.
away.
You know what I mean? I had to. Yeah, exactly, exactly, and start from the beginning and stuff. Start
Yeah,
con nada and
and
stuff.
I
You know
think
what I
it's
mean?
around that time
So
that
yeah,
um you came onto my radar where I heard about you. You were like out there grinding, uh, and I think you had
right.
um like an album, or you had I think I saw the Traficantes album, but when
Okay.
I learned about you, it was as a solo artist already, and I think you had like an initial few
Right.
singles, or there was maybe like an original project. What was your first, I guess, project, your first, I guess, album as Settle?
For first project as Cero was a mixtape called Welcome to El Parque that I linked up with Riverside Management. So they were based out of
Is that
Virginia, and
Langley
they were
Park?
helping me push out my mixtape and stuff like that. No, no, it's in Virginia. Uh, Virginia. At the time I was living in Langley Park and stuff. So I called the mixtape "Welcome to El Parque" because the whole DC area is just
Yeah.
a whole bunch of parks and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So that's kind of what the concept was, and it was just like a sporadic mixtape with songs I had with Traficantes and some solo projects I was working on, and then but it wasn't like an official release and stuff like that. It was
Yeah,
more
like
like
something
a
that you can
promo
have
release,
on
so to
you while
say.
you're out there networking and stuff. People go like, you perform, but what are you going
Right,
to give them after you
right,
perform? Yeah,
right,
that's dope.
exactly,
And
exactly.
then
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
official, what's the
yeah.
first official Settle project?
The first official
I remember
Cero project was
that show.
Cero
Yeah.
Sacrificio. Uh, yeah, yeah. So that was the official first one that had production from Crooks
Mm.
Brothers out of New York, from the from some of the low
Mm.
lives and stuff like that out in Boston. Um, and yeah, some producers from out here and whatnot. So yeah, that was the first
What?
project
So
on
I
Cero.
remember when we were both recording at Listen Vision, right? So that's like an era. But that
Right.
album's before that time. Where were you recording that Settle Sacrificio at?
Yeah, so Cero Sacrificio was mainly recorded in New York, and a lot of production was from cast in Chicago,
Mm.
DNA Beats, Tony Vinyl, the Low Lives out in Boston, and that's who where most of my production recording was done and stuff like that. I think only had one DMV producer on there and one DMV artists, I want to say, and stuff like that. But at the time, I didn't know too many
Interesting.
people from out
Yeah,
there.
I didn't know that. That's super, super interesting.
Yeah.
It used to be hard to get beats. Remember that?
Yeah.
It was so hard to get
Yeah.
beats. Like you had to know the
Super,
people.
super.
You had to like
Yeah.
link up with them
Yeah.
and go to the crib and listen to
Yeah.
beats and and
Yeah.
beg for a beat.
Yeah. It was a mission.
Now there's so many beats everywhere.
Yeah.
It's a whole different game.
Yeah.
But it was hard.
Yeah.
People don't understand the struggle
It's crazy how things evolve.
that you used to have to go through to put together an album.
Yeah. Nah. Yeah. Nah, and I used to go to Chicago, and when I first met up with Trágico, I didn't know what he looked like. It was all talks on the phone. So I arrived in Chicago airport, and I say like, oh, okay, this dude looks like.
And you just walked up to him, and you're like,
you know what I mean? And that's how.
And you knew he was Colombian,
like,
so you're like Colombian, like that, and kind of like.
Yeah. We talked on the phone and go meet up and pull up to his apartment and stuff like that. And that time guys in Chicago were checking you for your hat. You know what I mean? It was and nothing but kings in there. It was definitely something different. And
that's
stuff,
cool, man.
Yeah.
So you have Cero Sacrificio. That's the first official Cero project. I remember that project. You start performing regularly. There's lots of events happening in the DC area. Over the years, I know you've performed all over New York, Miami, everywhere in between. What project comes after Cero Sacrificio?
After Cero Sacrificio, I want to say was a mixtape. Was it the mixtape or was it Firme y Paciente? I forgot. I want to say it was a mixtape. I mean, throughout the time, there was always mixtapes being put out and stuff like that, where I would DJ a mixtape or I would host a mixtape and stuff like that. I mean, there's mixtapes that I'm forgetting to mention as well and stuff. I did a mixtape with DJ Sincere as well, where he grabbed the songs, he mixed it and stuff, hosted it. But I want to say Firme Paciente came out. No, I'm sorry. I remember Para Spanglish Marcasero came out. Because Para Spanglish, and because that was the promotion for the Firme Paciente.
So you released that. At that point, you're working in Listen Vision already.
No, at that time I was with the Para Spanglish Marcasero. I was working in some studios out in Maryland and as well in Virginia as well. So I was working with Max Methods, and then in Maryland it was Enemy Studios and stuff like that. And then later on I got introduced to Listen Vision.
Yeah, so you've had a run. I mean, you work with different producers, gone to different studios, gotten different sounds. Yeah, that's dope.
Yep.
So Firme y Paciente, talk to us about that project. So I remember that project.
Yeah. So Firme y Paciente was a like looking back, I sort of called the album Cero versus DJ Boom. You know what I mean? Because I basically bring him sounds and then he would chop them up and sample them or do them to his own kind of style and whatnot. And then I came up with concepts and lyrics. We were trying to figure out what kind of sound direction to go into and stuff. Then like I know at that time Listen Vision, they had like a raid or no, not a raid, but like I think somebody stole
big
equipment from them and stuff like that. So I lost a lot of So with that break-in, that like affected the creation of where the album
had
was going.
Songs that were recorded sitting on the hard drive.
Yeah.
I remember that because that's when I was doing Latinos Unidos, and the police showed up at an event looking for somebody. Wow.
Yeah.
So,
So then, so I lost. There were songs on there that we had, and then like the album just had a whole new vibe It was just different stuff like that. Then I went through some legal situation as well. So yeah, it's not my favorite project because it like a lot of people think it was my first album
Not
and
even
stuff, but in reality
close.
that wasn't my first album and stuff.
Hey,
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah,
was there music that was lost?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, there were some songs that were lost out there. So someone out there probably has a verse of mine somewhere.
Tell them you want them back.
Yeah.
You're good.
Nah,
You're
they
good.
can keep or whatever. I don't care.
So
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
after
yeah.
Firme y Paciente, what album comes after that?
After that, I started releasing a bunch of singles. I started taking the single route, and then a mixtape. So then I started working on the, I want to say
Mm.
the Desprogramado mixtape. So with that one, I teamed up with DJ Loudtone. So he helped me put the mixtape together and whatnot. So it's kind of like a zombie theme kind of
Mhm.
mixtape and stuff. You know what I mean? Like a whole brainwash. I was like really into Walking Dead and that kind of stuff. And you know what I mean? So that's kind of like what the like Walking Dead, I Am Legend. All of
Yeah,
those kind of things and
like
stuff like that. So it was a constant kind of
post-apocalyptic,
mixtape, so to
like
say.
well, kind of like what we went through with the pandemic, but
Yeah,
more
yeah,
extreme. Like something happened, and the whole world's a
exactly,
different
exactly.
place.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So it's kind of
Like
like
that.
foreseeing
Wow.
the pandemic. Yeah,
So
yeah,
that
yeah,
mixtape comes
super on.
out,
But
and then you had like a project
yeah,
before your most recent project. There was another project that was called, I think it was called something like Realismo de un Mago.
yeah, yeah. Realismo de Mágico. So that was yeah, that album I worked on. Did that recording at Hustle Firm Studios with Pamela Velez. Shout out to Pamela Velez. She helped engineer that project, and also at MA, I think he did some songs on there as well. Yeah, I had that. Now during this time, because I would around the Cerro Sacrificio era, I would also go to New York and jump into rap ciphers and battles and stuff like that. And also to mention, I was at the first Red Bull Batalla de Gallos in New York and stuff like that. So I was representing here the DC area and stuff, and I was at the first
That's the
Batalla
first
de Gallos,
ever
which
Batalla de
now is
Gallos.
like a huge thing and stuff.
Who
First
who were the
in the United
finalists? That
States,
was that the
first rap battle in the
Temperamento.
United States. Yeah, Temperamento got up there, but he came in second and stuff. I forgot the
Wasn't
name
it
of the cat that won first
didn't
place
he
and stuff.
battle Fool Nelson?
I think so. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think Full Nelson was there. Yeah, 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 yeah. I was the only DC rep there, and my style, it doesn't sound like the styles and sounds everybody
Yeah.
was using at
That's
that
dope that you
time and
were
stuff like
so
that.
you were on
My
you
style is like,
battled.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Battle and stuff. And Aventura
Got
La
it.
Bachata band, they were the judges. So like,
I mean, I
what do
guess
they
they're
know
from
about
New
rap
York. They
battles?
were available.
Yeah,
Their
yeah,
names,
yep,
like
yep,
people
yep,
recognize.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's
yep, that's
cool,
true.
man. That's
Yeah,
dope.
yeah,
The but you're still
yeah,
involved
yeah, yeah, yeah.
now in judging rap battles.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I no longer battle rap and stuff, but yes, the cats out here, they'll contact me to go judge events, try and make appearances when I can. I helped develop a league called DMV Batallas. That there's actually a few leagues out here and
Well,
stuff
this
like
is a
that,
Spanish rap.
Batallas is all Spanish, and freestyle, real freestyle on the spot. You know what I mean? I don't know how familiar you are with the Spanish rap battles and stuff like that. Like if you go YouTube, look it up, it's insane. Like they fill up venues, concerts in Spain to
Mm,
Mexico,
mm.
Chile, all over and stuff. You know what I mean? So, but like these rap battles, at least 40 cats from out here from the area and stuff like that. It's way different from our
Right.
generation coming up. You know what I mean? But it's dope to see the hunger these kids have
So
and stuff like that. They
there's a
definitely hungry.
vibrant underground freestyle rap scene in Spanish right there in the
Yep,
DMV.
yep, exactly. At least 40
Wow.
MCs pull up, yo. Like I want to say, there's at least 40 MCs. You know what I mean? Repping everywhere, Salvador, Mexico,
Yeah.
Colombia, all over and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
it's
We
all
got a
localized and
question.
stuff
Shout
like
out
that.
to Enoch asking how long has that been happening? Do you know how long those battles have been going on?
Eh, Uh, so there's been the batallas escritas where people go with the rap
That's
battles
more traditional
prepared,
American.
and that's
That's
been
like bars. That's
right,
like
right,
bars.
right, where they come with the written battles, right? Yeah, yeah, that's the written. So the written battles has been, I want to say, we're talking like 2006, but with as far as the Spanish rap battles and stuff like that, la batallas, that's been, I want to say, maybe 2010-ish. I want to say. I know it started like on Facebook. That's how people started meeting each other and whatnot. And then they started developing the leagues and whatnot. But shout out to Skyline Freestyle. That's one of the leagues out there and stuff, and they doing their thing. So shout out to Dalo and stuff. All the cats over there. But they
Is
doing
there,
their thing and
as a
stuff.
judge for so many of these rap battles, is there some talent out there that you want to mention? You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, these cats are, you gotta watch out for them.
Oh man, yeah, there all of them, dog. Like, I mean, all of them have their own style, technique, and stuff like that. You got Sam, Kronos, Mino, um, El Dreamer, uh, Astronauta. I mean, there's so many, a lot of them. Every one of them, I see they
Yeah,
do their thing and stuff like that. You know what I mean? There's a lot of cats that,
that's
that
dope.
they
That's
sick and
dope.
stuff. Yeah. And you throw them a word, or what we'll do, we'll give
Yeah.
them como una temática and stuff. You know what I mean? So we're like, yo, got rap about food. So they'll turn that they have to use the food, anything that has
Against
to do
each
with food
other.
in the battle and stuff. So
Real.
it's like really,
That's how
really
you
rough.
know that it's not
Yeah, yeah.
written. Like you said, you make it so that
Exactly. Yep. Yep.
they can't be prepared for it. Dope.
Exactly. Exactly. Yep. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. It's on a whole nother level and stuff, yo. Yeah, it's growing. That scene
That's
is
cool, man.
growing hard and stuff like that.
So,
Yeah.
you start as a rapper. You're part of a group. You go solo. You release project after project. But then you evolve. Your original love was DJing. If people want to hire you to DJ, what's the best way to hire you? Well, how can they contact you to hire you for an event?
Best way is email, Ceromundo at Gmail. You know what I
Okay.
mean? That's or phone number. You know what I'm saying? But best is email. You know what I'm saying? Dates, events. Like I need all detail. What is
Yeah.
it for and stuff like
Is
that. You
it?
know
Do
what I
you
mean? But
normally
yeah, yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
specialize in hip hop and urban, or will you throw?
Nah, I do it all.
Mhm.
I've done weddings, you know what I'm saying? I did a wedding where I mixed country music with bachata. You know what I mean? It was like
They
my brother-in-law,
wanted to dance.
they had like a interracial wedding. Yeah, no, I mean you had your blanquitos on one side and then la raza on the other side, and it's like yo, bachata and country music match up perfectly and stuff, yo. You know what I mean? It was
That's
crazy. So
dope.
I can
That's
I spin
dope.
it all, yo.
So Ceromundo at
Yeah.
Gmail if you want to hire Settle as a DJ. Um, everything you've accomplished. You've got so many areas that you've branched out in. You're an innovator. You're always kind of on the cutting edge of technology. I think, to my knowledge, and at least in the space that's like urban Latin in the DMV area, you had the first podcast. You had the first podcast, I believe, focused a lot on uh, urban Latin talent. not just from the DMV, from all over, but you were based in the DMV. Talk to us about that podcast.
Right. Yeah. So you talk about the Molendo Mix Show that I did that with DJ Cabezon and with Fantasma. So we reached out to Receta Radio or Receta Studios, that they had a partnership with Que Está Happening. So reached out to them. I pitched them the show, what I was trying to do. Try to contact everybody in my network, like, yo, we gotta do a podcast. We gotta do this and stuff. You know, I think I even reached out to you at the time. I reached out and we wanted to have music, and it was going to be, we wanted to play the music that wasn't being played on radio. You know what I mean? It was all underground Spanish rap, never got its dues on radio and stuff. You know what I mean? So I always saw that. I was like, me coming up as an artist that has to spend, where do I put my music and stuff? So I was like, well, I need a radio. We need radio and stuff. We need our medias and stuff. You know, we need our breakfast clubs. We need all of our things and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's where my concept idea came out with. And we reached out to every artist and stuff like that. You know, Sick Jack and Lapis, the Cash from Terror Squad. You know what I'm saying? Cuban Link, Triple Seis, MC Ceja.
That's a who.
I mean, the list goes on and stuff like that. You know, Ana Tijoux, like every person that was in the like rap in Espanol and stuff like that, or Latinos in the hip hop and stuff, we were reaching out to them and stuff like that.
Who were some of the favorite people that you actually had on the show that you remember? You're like, yeah, this person was dope.
Wow, man, everybody, yo. With that Thurston Howe on there, Sick Jackin'.
Yeah.
You know,
Psycho Realm. I'm out in LA now. Pico Union, Union right over here.
Yeah. Shout out to them, all the Sick Side and stuff, you know. Man, it's a lot of folks we had and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Pescosada from Salvador came through. You know, Ray Chester, Sinfin. I mean, list goes on. It's hard for me to say.
No, that's a who's who of Latin hip hop, urban Latin. You know, that's dope. You later had another podcast that was the Microonda podcast.
Yeah. So that came later on. Because I always wanted to keep the podcast thing moving on. So with that one, I teamed up with a local comedian, and with M.A. the engineer, and we just started our podcast just talking, you know, smack or whatever, try to get interviews, except now it was more focused on DC area folks and stuff like that. You know what I mean? More folks that was from the DMV. So, you know, we interviewed, you know, small business owners, hearing, you know, local artists. We had you on the show as well. We did it at a smoke shop. You know what I mean? So it was cool.
Yeah, that's I remember that show was really dope. It was dope to be on it. You're always working on something. Is there like another podcast or something similar in the works?
Possibly. I mean, right now I'm trying to catch up
with
technology. You know what I mean? Because it's moving. Yeah, it's moving fast with this AI. So I'm trying to get hip with all of this and see what's where we can fit in and stuff like that. You know what I mean? The only thing I don't like about AI is like all the artwork looks the same. It looks like it's all done by the same cartoonist, the same illustrator. You know what I mean?
You heard the thing where they where the AI could do like other people's voice, and so they had I saw one where they had like a completely original Kendrick Lamar song, but it wasn't him, but it sounds exactly like him.
Okay.
And then just recently, like last week, they had Biggie singing Shook Ones, so he was singing like Prodigy's verse on Ones. So you know he was doing Prodigy's lyrics, but it was his voice. I mean, exactly in the pocket. Right. Like you can't tell the difference. It's crazy.
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've been playing around with it myself. I got my I posted a blog. So if you go to my page, Ceromundo, blogspot.com, I got a blog on there written by AI, and it's
So how
crazy what
did
this
you do
thing
it? How
goes
does
off.
the AI thing work?
So I used a thing called Bard, and so you just type it, start talking to it, just like como estamos hablando nosotros and stuff. You know what I mean? And you just chat with it, and they'll just start responding and talking. You just start asking questions
Yeah,
or
like
whatever. It's
so
like
the
Siri, kind of
Bard
like
is the
Siri.
Google. That's the
Yeah.
Google one. And so you
Right,
hit the
right.
microphone,
Yep,
and
yep.
what did you tell it? Like, write, I want to write a blog post.
Yeah, right. Yeah, write a blog post about Ceromundo, Colombian rapper DMV, and boom, it wrote a thing about me and stuff. But there's a lot of like false information on there. You got to go to my blogs and
That's
see
really
what it wrote, stuff
interesting.
like that.
That's really, really.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Try it out, yo. It's crazy stuff. So I'm still playing around with Chat GBT, all that kind of stuff,
Yeah,
trying to figure those things
that's
out.
dope. Your most recent
Yeah,
project, it was called Extraterrestres,
yeah.
right? And for people
Bienvenidos
who don't
extraterrestres.
speak
Yeah,
Spanish, that's yeah. Welcome
welcome,
extraterrestrial.
ET.
What's the
Yeah,
story behind
yeah,
that?
yeah.
What motivated the album? The album.
Uh, the motivation behind the album was because I started thinking like the name Ceromundo and stuff like that, right? So I'm like, it's a world, so it's a planet. So then I was like, so all the new people that's listening to me, like, welcome. You're not familiar to
Mm,
the planet, to the sound, So it's like dándole la bienvenida at the same time, giving the bienvenida to extraterrestrial life. If extraterrestrial life is already here and stuff like that, telling you welcome. You my brother, you my sister. If we all from that one God and stuff like that, that means
yeah,
ET is our
yeah,
cousin and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's giving that welcoming and stuff, and just being a fan of like sci-fi and all that kind of
yeah.
stuff.
Me
So
too. I'm a
that's kind of
fan of
the thing behind
sci-fi.
it.
I love technology. You know what I'm saying? So we're living kind of in cool times.
Yeah,
Yeah. The that album,
yeah,
where
yeah,
was that
yeah.
album produced at?
That one I did with my boy Byron and stuff.
Yeah,
That was done out here in Maryland. So
got
that's
it.
where we produced
Do
it at.
we
Yeah, yeah,
have new
yeah.
Ceromundo music coming soon?
Yeah. Matter of fact, you do. And should be dropping within the next couple of weeks, maybe month or stuff
Yeah.
like that. I haven't put out the date yet, but it's going to be called Los
Oh, that's
Records
cool.
Perdidos de un Traficante.
That sounds like a
So putting
Netflix
out,
movie.
yeah, yeah. So it's has all like some like songs that I did with Traficante, so releasing those and stuff like that, and some other like songs that I've done here and there, and just
Got it.
pushing those out.
Is it looking back on your entire career and taking kind of your best material from your entire career, or is it focused more on music that's not that well known that you've done that's floating out there, but now you're kind of compiling that all into one project?
Right, exactly. So the second stuff, so songs that people heard, they only heard it on CD and stuff like that. So now you're gonna get it on your digital platforms and stuff. So you're getting some of those and some unreleased, some freestyles. There's a remix on there as well to Seguimos and stuff like that. So I did a song called Seguimos with Ray Chester. So I got the remix done by DJ Loudon, which
That's
was never released. So that's
dope. Yeah,
that's
so
on
you've
that's
got
on there as
mixtape
well.
stuff that people never probably heard, and now you put it all in one place.
Right.
That's a good project, man. I
Yeah.
look
Yep.
forward,
Yep. Yep.
to hearing that. So, like in the
Yeah.
next
Yeah.
several
Thanks.
weeks,
Yeah.
we'll have some of them. That's
Yeah. It's
dope,
coming
man.
real soon. It's coming real soon. Yeah.
Often for a lot of
Yeah.
your albums, you'll have like a lead single and you do a music video, and you've had really cool music videos over the years. What's your process in the music
Thanks.
video making? Do you have an idea? Do you normally work with the director? Do you direct them and edit them? How does that work?
Yeah, no, so I would like to get more into video directing. Because I did a video editing for a song called Esto Está
Yeah.
Pesado. So I don't know if you've seen the video. I did the whole editing and filming kind of concept on that and stuff, and that was fun. That was like, and if you see the video, you can tell it's like the technology wasn't there yet and stuff, But I did all the editing. It still has the watermarks on there. I didn't know
Yeah.
what a watermark was and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But I like to work with different video directors. I like to see what concepts that they have. Making videos,
Mhm.
honestly, is not my favorite thing. You know what I mean? So, my respects to 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 the directors and stuff like that. Sometimes I don't like
I
to
know. Yeah.
see myself on camera. I'm just from that era and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
I know what you
makes it
mean. I
kind of
like to
weird.
record songs.
Sometimes I feel, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, I just like to make the songs and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I sometimes feel like videos take away
Mhm.
from songs and stuff like that. I like to make songs. I like to people
Mhm.
create their own videos in their own mind and stuff. You know what I mean? But I understand that
Yeah.
videos is an
That's part
important
of it.
marketing tool.
That's cool. We look forward
Yeah,
to
yeah,
more Ceromundo videos for sure.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I got a new video it just released about a couple weeks ago called Aguacero. So that just came out. I filmed that one out in Miami, and that song is off of
Yeah.
the Bienvenido Extraterrestre project. And that song is like inspired by like an accident that I had in Colombia like
That's
a few years ago
dope.
and stuff.
If people want to watch that Awacero,
Yeah.
where can they go find it?
On YouTube, just hit up YouTube, Ceromundo, go to Ceromundo TV. Please subscribe, hit the notification, the bell, drop the comments. You know what I mean? But yeah,
Yeah,
you'll find it
that's
there.
dope.
Ceromundo Aguacero.
Um,
Yeah.
through your performances, through all the years of, Columbia, New York, Miami, Chicago, DC, you've met a lot of people in the music industry. Through your podcast and radio show, you've met a lot of artists. Um, is there anybody that you've met or somebody that you haven't met, or maybe two, three people that you would love to do a song with? That'd be really dope. Like, yeah, that would be a dream come true.
Wow. Oh man, all the people that I've ever wanted to do a song with, unfortunately, I
Woo!
passed
Now,
away and
hey,
stuff
now
like
with
that.
the
You know
AI,
what I
you
mean?
can do it.
You know? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it's not
not
the
the
same and
same.
stuff. But no, I'm I'm always always looking to do different kind of music, different stuff, you know what I mean? Stay away from the traditional stuff, always exploring, sounds,
Yeah.
music and stuff like that, you know what I mean? So I can't say that there's someone that I like to do it. I would like to go back and retouch songs with folks that I've worked with, and let's continue making songs. To me, it's all about being consistent, stay creating, and keep on
Yeah.
push out
Yeah.
projects and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So I like
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, So it's like I don't have like I can't say there's a list of specific folks. I'm open
Yeah.
work con los que quieren trabajar,
Yeah,
mejor dicho.
that's dope. That's dope, and I love that. Especially like
Yeah,
being a judge of so many events, being a host of so many events. Over the years, you've been
yeah,
heavily involved also in La
yeah,
Conecta, right? You've performed or hosted
yeah,
or
yeah,
at
yeah.
least been active in that community. So you're like, listen, if you want to work
Right.
with me, hit me up. Ceromundo at Gmail. That's dope.
Yeah, yep, 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 yep. Yeah,
Yeah,
basically stuff like that. You know what I mean? And and if you ready
I
grind
love
work and
that.
stuff like,
I
let's
love
do it and
that.
stuff like that. You know what I
Um,
mean? Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. Also, I was at the first in LA. Since you mentioned you're in LA, they had the Latin Rap conference there back in like
yeah,
'06, I want to say, and I was out there and I like opened up that show for a lot of folks. It was at
it's
the
a
Whiskey Go
famous
Go
club
Club
here.
and stuff. You know what I mean? So yeah, 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 yeah. So I rocked out over there and stuff
Yeah,
like
and
that.
then the
That was
following
a
year they
dope,
did
dope
it in
event.
New York, right?
Yeah, no, I, I forgot. No, the first one was in New York, then LA, and then I think they went back to New
Yeah,
York, something like
yeah.
that. I don't remember. It was always
That's
back and
cool,
forth.
man.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
separate from music, you know,
yeah.
as we start to rap, like I like to ask people questions that are just a little bit different, like so they can get context, learn a little bit more about you. You're a bit of a foodie. Um,
Yeah,
put
facts.
people on, you know, like
Cocinero.
what is, you know,
All right.
maybe two, three things, two, three meals that maybe people aren't that familiar with, or something Colombian. There's a food item that you're like, yo, you've got to try this.
Right. Oh man, I mean, I'm hooked on
Oh yeah.
Korean fried chicken. You know what I mean? Yeah, yeah. So that's one of my go-tos and stuff. Because area I moved to, there's a lot of Korean restaurants and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So I'm hooked on that. But I'm always trying something different. And then, I love Jamaican
Mm.
food. You know what I mean? Jerk chicken. You know what I mean? Some oxtail soup and stuff. That's always my go-to. But yeah, man. I mean,
Yeah,
I
bring it
yo como
on.
de todo and stuff. You know what I mean?
You're
Yeah,
also a bit of a
yeah, yeah,
traveler,
yeah,
a world traveler. You've gone to lots of different places.
yeah.
Um, what are like maybe your one, two like really favorite places you've been to that's like that was dope? And then on the flip, maybe a couple places that you have not been to that are on the hit list. Like I want to go to these places.
Right, right, right. Man, places I love going
Mm,
to. Definitely,
mm,
I had a good time in France and in Paris and in the south of France. I got family out there. Did a
mm.
music video out there as well. Motivation. So my cousin, he directed the film. So that's a director I would love to work again and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Because that was
That's
like
dope.
a family made project, so to say. And that's what he does. And I mean, that was definitely dope. Uh, uh, Places I want to go, definitely want to hit up Chile and
You
Asia
haven't
and
been to
stuff like
Chile?
that. You know what I mean? Those are my
You
hit
haven't been
list.
to Chile?
What's up? Nah, never, never. I haven't gone, yo. It's like every year it's like, oh, go this year, this year. Always something comes up, and you got to go
Yeah, I
there
mean
in
that's summer
January from what they
time.
tell me and stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah, 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 yeah. So it's always something
That's dope.
happens and stuff like that. So
All
yeah,
right. When that moment comes, let me know if I
yeah,
can
yeah.
connect you with some folks. Yeah, for sure. For
Okay, yeah,
sure.
yeah, for sure, for
Um,
sure.
it
Yeah.
normally when I begin to wrap up and I'm talking to somebody who's involved in hip hop, I generally ask them their top five that are alive. Do you have a top five that are alive all
Mm.
time list of hip hop artists that's like, yo, these are the guys that are on my Mount Rushmore? Too
I
many
can't,
artists.
I can't do it, yeah. I can't do it, yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, it's too many, but then it's like, all right, like for me, as far as I can do like my
Yeah.
influential ones, I guess, right? So I would have to put Wu-Tang Clan as one. You know what I mean? I gotta put uh,
Yeah.
Chuck D, from Public Enemy. 'Cause he was definitely impactful to me and stuff. I gotta put KRS One. You know what I mean? Because seeing him perform what he's done, what he's continued to do today, like you know what I'm saying? He's
His
still
live show
still
is crazy.
relevant and stuff like that. Yeah, 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 sick and stuff like that. Um, man, like I yeah, and then those other spots, everybody else and stuff like that. Coogee rap always been
Yeah.
an influence
G
in,
Rap
in
is the
my
man.
style and stuff. Yeah, yeah. Outkast, yo, you know what I mean? Outkast is definitely big, influence and stuff. But everybody, yo,
Yeah,
it's
student of the
hard to say and
culture.
stuff like that.
And then just to wrap it
Yeah,
up with one last question,
yeah.
um, similar, influential artists that you like, the artists I would say that's even beyond like artists that you love, but in Spanish, like Spanish hip hop, urban Latin, because you and I both have been very heavily involved in that scene for years. Who are some of the artists that
hmm
like truly um, had an impact on you, that you love their flow, that you love their catalog of music?
Wow.
Yeah,
I gotta give
yeah.
shout out to Tres Coronas. You know what I mean? Yeah, they were featured in my video when we did Traficantes and stuff. They're like one of the first appearances and stuff like that
Did
was
y'all
in that
shoot it
video.
in
So
Queens?
I
You went
love
and
the
shot it in
music they've been making. Yeah, yeah, we shot it in Queens and stuff.
Queens?
Yep. So you'll see them in the video and stuff like that. Like we rented out a bus and everything. So a lot of people thought we did the video in Colombia and stuff, but it was actually shot in
Wow.
Queens. Um, yeah, yeah. So I definitely got to give my flowers to them and stuff. Just vibing, hanging out, chilling with them during those times. Um, Man, in rap español, gotta give big ups to El
Yeah.
Padrino Melo Man Ace. You know what I'm saying? Because
He
he's
kind of started
definitely
the
an
whole thing.
influencer, and I got the pleasure of work with him. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I got to work with him and stuff like that. So we did a song. Um, very cool brother. Um, and rap español
There's a
today, there's a
lot of
lot of
talent.
dope talent, yo. Yeah, 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 yeah. A lot of Venezuela rap, yo. They kill it in Mexico
Yeah.
too and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I'm loving the sounds that's coming from over there and stuff like
Santa
that.
Fe
Like Santa
Clan is
Fe
dope.
Clan. Um, uh, uh, yeah, 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 yeah. A lot of cats and stuff. I'm always fan of
Yep.
of the Puerto Rican rap too. Not the reggaeton, but
Yeah.
when the reggaetoneros do the rap and stuff like
Yeah,
that,
yeah, yeah.
they
Cats
they
like
come out they
MC
come out with
Seha.
some dope stuff too. So I've been listening to that lately. Yeah, they
Yeah.
say Chino Nino and stuff. So
That's
yeah,
dope,
yeah,
man.
lot of dope
My
cats and
brother,
stuff. Yeah,
thank you
yeah.
so much. You've had an amazing career. I
Thank
know
you.
that, you've been grinding it out like for all this time, so I know that there's more to come. I know the grind doesn't stop. Um, it's
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's an honor to call you my friend, and I really appreciate you taking the time to
Yes,
jump
sir.
on the show and talk about your career. Drop game. You let a lot of
All
people
right.
know about everything you've done, and people learn from that. They hear the story and they figure out how to do it for themselves. So thank you so much, my bro.
Having me here on the show and stuff like that. Continued success to grow. Also want to give some plugs. Make sure y'all listen to the Bienvenido Extraterrestre. It's already out right now on all streaming platforms. Got the Infinite Chispa health motivation brand partnership with my brother Lioness. Look out for that. It's growing in gyms and stuff like that. And yeah, man, and
That's
more
what's up, my
projects,
bro.
things to come out as
Thanks
well.
so much, man. Respect.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll
Respect.
talk to you
Gracias,
soon.
gracias. Un abrazo
Thank you, brother. Peace.
fraterno. All right.